Right. This is the bridge. I have a map open on the screen because I am too confused. I'm supposed to be finding a way to a mech or something. Which I couldn't do last time I was streaming this game. Oh yeah, I can jump them. And there's my mech. Who's found me? It's these guys. Got to play a lot of this game in order to finish it in time for the podcast. Lero says it's impossible to blitz. What is this void that we're in? He's still a jerk. I thought we'd already agreed to help. Oh no, we had a strop about the idea of doing more fighting. Take some rest upstairs. Heck am I now? What? Where am I? Relative to where I was. So confused. Click on the ladder maybe then? This doesn't seem to be be going upstairs. Back on the boat, aren't I? That's not where I would be. This is the bridge. This is not where I want to be. Go up to the residential area. That'd do it. That's such a weird place for a lift, though. It's kind of lift designed by people who aren't thinking about people actually having to live in this space, because it just cuts off the gantry from the ladder. I think it's here. This guy. Whoops. Onwards. It's a weird noise. It sounds like somebody using a pneumatic drill. And this is a security camera, I suppose? Broya. I assume it's not meant to be Broya, it's Broya, but still. Oh, it was a pneumatic drill. So these are people from the Heaven space place, I guess, because they called us lambs. Or underground, I'm still not really straight on where they come from. That's woken us up. Missed the door. Was this the elevator? I can't find that, yes. The alarm filter, the flashing red, is a complete pain on the eyes. can't go to the damn mech if you take the damn lift. Again, it's the mobility of the camera that really changes how these scenes work. I did look up how to learn more combos, but I actually can't remember. Apparently this boss only has 800 HP, which given that my mechs have considerably more than that, makes this a pretty unusual encounter, because it's very rare in a JRPG of any kind that you have more HP total than your enemies. Certainly for an on-level encounter. So the doc has secrets too about controlling a mech. These are some very easy encounters.
That's it?
Yes, indeed, Satan. that stuff. Drive battle enhancement drugs. Get in the damn robot, Faye. I'm going to be saying that a lot because I like that meme. Not sorry. But why do you only have a rubbish whip attack? It was underwhelming for the length of its attack animation. At least we're getting XP for all these obvious set pieces. Uh-oh. Oh hey, we did show up in the end. And a slam zoom of all things. Why? Faye mad. So that was a bunch of trivial losses, and now we have probably the actual boss. At least going by the fact that it's got 7 times as much HP as anyone else. Did that also do no damage? damage that time, that's for sure. Determined to pick on Bart. Who am I on? I'm on Bart. I think I did that last time and it didn't produce any improvements. Yeah. So I'm not gaining anything by trying to raise Bart or Citan's battle levels above, attack levels above 2 at the moment. Ah. We have won. It's a handsome gear. Is that an actual typo there in his actual name? Like, I'm sure his name is properly Sigurd. That would be more consistent with the Germanic Wagnerian roots. You don't get to mope your way into painting yourself as less selfish than the Sky Pirate Captain, or Sand Pirate Captain. Apparently everybody from the base and all their stuff is going to fit on site inside this sand cruiser. Right, I have to get to the bridge. That's not the bridge. One moment while I turn the light on, it's getting dark in here. Actually, something I don't know is whether my gears will have been restored. It looks like they have. Assuming that's what that menu tells you, which you never know. So apparently this unlocks the ship. So I can move around the world mapping. Yep. It's a surprisingly organic handling. What is this place? Bledovic. Oh, I guess this is where I'm supposed to go. Actually go into Bledovic. Yes. Ah. presumably not our ship, because I don't think that can fly, and I don't think it'd be getting a friendly landing bay. Suddenly we're in FF12, by which I mean Star Wars, by which I mean FF12. Yeah, that's not us, it's too clean. Note the very obvious NASA colours of it though. That's a space shuttle. In some sense. Ramses. These are presumably bad guys. Ramses' coat looks a lot like a character from Xenogears. It's Crossface Guy. Is he one of the people who was attacking me last night? Fatima Jasper was the main MacGuffin of some sort. This, I think, is the princess that we're here to rescue. She looks pretty cool. And now we're a camera again. I can't tell whether she's supposed to be derailing or whether she's just incredibly self-absorbed. I hope it's the former. Or maybe she's supposed to be really young, but, like, she's not drawn that young. Which in an anime game is strongly suggestive that she's not young. Ah, that's why with the camera. I see. Who's this other guy? That escalated quickly. Good grief, this place is huge. This hotel, you say? Hashtag FF12. I apparently accidentally aided in stealing. Hello! You're really quiet, what the hell? Try again?
Hello?
Hello? Yeah, your mic's really quiet for some reason. It might be because the game audio is absurdly loud, but I can't actually change that.
You couldn't open the Windows volume mixer or anything?
Oh maybe. Let's just try... Try again?
Hello?
1 second. And again?
Hi.
That's better. Hi Sam, how are
I'm doing
you?
alright. A bit exhausted because I've been out most of the day.
Ah, the world, that thing.
I went to another town.
Good grief.
Train and everything.
How adventurous. Are you ready for lots and lots of Xenogears
Oh boy.
this month? What? No? I'm so confused by this location. They use this concept again in Xenosaga, and it works a lot better there because PlayStation 2.
Oh yeah.
Levels of resources. Where the hell is the hotel? This camera angle isn't helping. I think.
The one thing I don't like about Xenogears so far, of what I'm playing, is the camera. Because I feel
Camera is just like camera angles have to be vertically adjustable in 3D games, and when they're not, it makes me sad.
I feel they wouldn't be too much of a problem if they designed the environments with that in mind, but they didn't.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because, well, I'm flobbing platforming every so often.
I'm so glad there's not been much platforming yet.
I think it was like the first forest area, I just kept getting lost.
Yep, if you go through the stream archive, there's a lot of me doing that. Falling off the same jump like 7 times as well.
No, I
Apparently can't jump on the table,
can
that's
jump on
sad.
people.
Yeah, I can't jump on the table though.
I suppose because it's like probably a bit difficult to like render what that would end up like.
Can't see why, relative to walking on people. Right, so I want to go into this location.
Did you, when you got to in the first village, did you talk to Luca?
Probably.
She's the.
I don't know.
It's actually Luca from Chrono Trigger, and she just like she gives you a tutorial on how to use a save point, and then she steals your money.
Don't think I did.
Yeah, she gives you.
Ah,
She gives you a tutorial, and then steals your money for it.
Ah,
Yeah.
really? I found a nun.
Cool boy.
The town music's pretty good though.
I do quite like the music in this.
Yeah. I've liked some of it, not other bits, but this bit's pretty good. It's peppy.
I find Yasunori Mitsuda quite good with peppy.
Uh-huh. I have beaten you to your room, nun. That's 3 Twitch make money while streaming bots today. I must have made a splash somewhere.
Huh. Twitch, even though you don't use Twitch.
Yep. Oh, the first one was Hitbox, but these 2 have been Twitch.
They're like, just covering your bases in case you want to look at other streaming services.
In fairness, I used to use Twitch. It's just that Twitch has more randos.
Yeah. I don't know. I sometimes it can be alright, so it depends who you get.
Yeah, I mean, I've not had any bad experiences myself, but I've seen other people have bad experiences, so... And I don't want to do this kind of semi-critical stream on Twitch, because that really will piss off the randos. Hitbox isn't great, but eh.
I find there are certain games which definitely get randos on Twitch.
I think this would be one of them.
I think Dark Souls definitely gets randos on Twitch.
Oh god, yeah. That would
I've
be
seen
bad.
that from friends' experience. Surprisingly, they're kind
Yeah.
of polite, actually.
Really? Dark Souls fans?
Well, it's more that
They're clearly not real Dark Souls
it's
fans.
because it's someone who's already playing it and is enjoying it, so they're polite and they're like, well, I'm trying not to spoil anything, because
I
it's
suppose.
basically what Dark Souls fans really want to see is someone experiencing it for the first time again, because they want that again. That's what I was
You
always
think?
told.
Maybe. I think they want to see people struggle so that they can feel good about themselves, but maybe I'm a cynic.
A bit of that too, to be fair, but...
Yeah. I mean, I've got to do... One of my travel notes games is Demon Souls, so I really don't want to play that on Twitch. That'll be grim. I want to play that somewhere I'm not afraid to cry.
The way I played Dark Souls is I didn't find it too hard. Just hid behind a shield.
I mean, I watched a Let's Play of Demon Souls, and it's like, I can't see why I couldn't do this. It's just slow Zelda. But
it's kind of like you kind of need to be. You need to know what basically it's knowing what the stats do, and then being a bit patient. And it's kind of cryptic about that in itself, which I understand how that turns people off, but I kind of got way into the game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a lot of resources available now as well, which helps. As with this game, because this would be complete impenetrable garbage otherwise. Really? I think so. And I've got a walkthrough open on my other monitor at the moment.
So it's not quite, I'm really forgetting words today. So it's a bit just easy to get lost, is it, then?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of times where it just doesn't tell you where to go next, explicitly. In a way that I'm very used to from more recent games. They just put a big flag on your map.
Yeah, I find...
Which is sometimes annoying, but like it works for JRPGs.
I think sometimes, like, because I like how Dragon Quest tends to handle it, is where you basically just talk to all the townspeople and they're like, oh, there's this thing over here, right? You go, I should probably head over there then. But I also think it probably works a bit better because they do a decent job of localization on some of those games.
Yeah. I mean, at the moment, all I'm doing is wandering around town looking for clues.
Huh. I think because I know this was like kind of like one of the first games after they kind of had a change in their localization department. Because I think it's the first one Richard Honeywood worked on. He was kind of leaded Final Fantasy 8 and 9's translation. It's where they started to build an internal team. 7
right.
was kind of the first one that used an internal Square team to translate, because they'd usually
They
usually outsource it before then to like Ted Woolsey and that.
Lol, Woolsey.
He's like a Microsoft executive now.
Really?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Basically every single Xbox Live Arcade game, Ted Woolsey's name's in the credits.
What a wonderful life.
Yeah. The man has his name on like Braid, Super Meat Boy, and all sorts, I guess.
He really does have a lot to answer for.
Like he was like basically in charge of like getting games on there or something.
Ah. A sewer level! Hooray! I mean, it's not really a sewer level because it's water in rather than water out, but still.
It's gonna have something like a sewer level. There's, yeah.
We're gonna go through a tunnel where there's something flowing.
Yep. I'm trying to...
It's just gonna be cleaner.
I think that was it. What was it? It was Shadow Hearts, where the sewer level was just one room.
That's about right for a sewer level, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was fairly short, but that game's kind of quite forward moving. Shadow Hearts feels like a PS1 game to me, actually.
I'm gonna have to play this at some point because you keep talking about it. It sounds really interesting.
I like it, but yeah, I should probably get around to playing more of it myself. I played like I'm probably about halfway through.
Oh, you haven't finished
No,
it?
about halfway, I think.
I thought that said north of town is a pizza. I was like, I want pizza now. Pizza's good.
I had too big a pizza the other day.
Lies and blasphemy.
Well, no, it wasn't like I went out and got a pizza. It was like just a pizza I cooked, and it was bigger than any plate I had. So yeah, there's like certain signs when you know things are kind of too big.
When you can't fit on a plate. No, that is actually a sign your plate is too small, you see. Get bigger plates.
Maybe.
I was a student for 9 years. Trust me, I know my pizza etiquette. Get bigger plates.
Well, most of the pizza I ate came already on a box big enough.
Yeah, that too. But, you know, it serves as a big enough plate, so I'm not wrong.
But if you cut up a pizza and just stack it on top of each other itself, it'll fit on anyway.
Yeah. Apparently need to go through here.
That's like the second or third time we've just talked about student pizza.
It's an important topic.
I've been trying to cut down on pizza, even though I ate a massive one the other day.
You can never have it. Like, pizza is a perfect food. I'm getting really hungry now. I should stop. You.
You don't want to play hide and seek?
Of course I don't want to play hide and seek in this game.
Oh god, you wouldn't find any.
You'd have to stand in literally. You'd have to stand in literally every square of the level, and rotate the camera through all 8 axes to be sure you hadn't missed something.
I don't usually like hide and seek in video games.
It's usually a pain in the arse.
Like, it's like the start of Majora's Mask. I know everyone's like.
That was the one that first came to mind for me
Yeah.
as well.
Like, once you've done it, it's pretty easy, but like, God, that frustrated me so much first time.
Uh-huh. That was the first time I failed to finish Majora's Mask. That was as far as I got.
Same here.
I have never finished Majora's Mask. I've tried about 5 times.
Same here.
I've only got it on the GameCube though, and without N64C buttons, it's a pain.
I've got the Wii version.
Ah.
Get the 3DS version because
It does look really pretty.
It is balanced differently. There's a couple. They made a few changes to some of the bosses.
Cool, I can get the key now, and that will save some time.
I've noticed in this game is like some of the like sprites on there's like the one sprite I keep seeing a lot is like the usually a woman, but she's got like a really flat chin. There it is. It's like
Oh, the one in the foreground here.
yeah. It's very like there's some sprites that kind of feel a bit like less worked on than others. Which I understand is they're like NPCs that aren't really that important,
Yeah.
but like it's just really odd. And I don't know whether that's a product of just how the PS1 renders all this or not.
She looks better some angles
Yeah,
than others,
it's
I
definitely
think.
better at that angle, but it's just that one. It's just like
Definitely better at that angle. You said that as I turned the camera so that the building completely obscured her, by the way.
oh,
That
dear.
was nice.
See, no, I have a slight delay.
Definitely better with a house in the way.
Just not look at it.
In fairness, most of us look better with a house in the way, so...
What? I'm not sure I quite make sense in that, but
Sorry, hay fever struck. Where were we? I don't want to play hide and seek. Guide. Ah, right, so we have to go up towards the castle now. Stop shouting about bananas. Berries. That's the wrong exit. It's so easy to get turned around. Now, is Bart going to get in trouble?
Bart!
This is a cool way of doing like a town map,
I really
but
like it actually.
also it's really awkward to use at this resolution.
It looks kind of like cool, but I can imagine it being a bit finicky.
Yeah. All the text. It's an interesting moment of conservatism that the idea of betting being slightly frowned upon.
Huh. They're like moving towards legalizing gambling over there soon, aren't they? In Japan?
Well, the laws are changing. I know there's a bunch of stuff about pachinko is going to be more heavily regulated,
Yeah.
which is basically a form of gambling.
Yeah, I think that's why like SNK is getting out of the pachinko business.
Yeah, I saw that article too.
I saw a video with what I saw, so
Ah, right, okay.
parrying the article. I don't know. Or the other way around, I don't
One way or the other.
happen to come to the same conclusion.
Well, they might have been referencing one another. So we have to be in the tournament.
What was the tournament bit?
Already, like, I'm only about 6 hours in.
Much further than I am, actually.
So what should my name be? I think I'm gonna go ponytailed slacker because I am.
One of them boxer is like doesn't fake kick.
Possibly.
I usually like the tournament chapters in RPGs. I usually like
Sorry?
tournaments in RPGs. I don't know why.
They're usually pretty good.
I think it's just because I'm getting like flashbacks to like Golden Sun and really liking that part of the game a lot.
And Paper Mario 2. That's got a great.
I haven't actually played Paper Mario 2. I've watched.
You should do that.
I actually own a copy as well.
Holy shit, I don't.
I even paid 40 quid for it.
It's worth it. It's a
Worth
good
it
game.
now, actually.
It's worth a lot more now. But I mean, it's definitely worth having paid 40
I
quid
bought
for
it
it, so I
last
mean.
year even. Yeah.
What? Now I'm jealous.
I think that's probably the most I've paid for an old game.
Yeah, probably.
Second most is Shadow Hearts.
It all comes
Yeah,
back to
yeah.
Shadow Hearts, doesn't it?
I should just finish that game.
You really
Yeah.
should.
And it's because it's like I want to finish those games and then probably move on to Lost Odyssey because they share some development team. I think.
I'm going to be doing Lost Odyssey soon, so
Uh,
once I get around to buying a copy
it's
anyway.
actually really cheap. There's
Yeah, it's like a $5.
there's, like there was like a talk at my university by someone from Microsoft. Actually, they're from Lionhead, but that's part of Microsoft. And they just like
Oh yeah, you said they were just handing out copies.
handing out loads of copies of Lost Odyssey and some of Fable 3. I couldn't care less about Fable 3.
And what, sorry?
Fable 3.
Ah, well, there are lots of copies of that
I've
one.
actually met Peter Molyneux.
That must have been
He
entertaining.
said Fable 3 was his biggest regret.
Really?
He says that of every game. Like the last game he worked on was his biggest regret usually.
Fair enough.
Actually, I think not. I've also met a few people that work with him. Because the whole thing where he said he'd never talk to the press, I'd actually found out about that just before like it went off to print. Because I'm in a couple like freelancer groups on Facebook. But because I thought for a while maybe I'll get into freelance games journalism. But,
What a good idea.
no. But yeah, I'd heard about that, and I was basically in the same place as two people. One person that worked with him at Bullfrog, and another that worked with him at Lionhead. And I
Good grief.
pretty much apparently cried when he was being interviewed by Laura Kate Dale. That's what she said anyway. And said he'd never talked to the press. And I told them both that, and none of them were surprised that he cried. He said, yeah, he does that all the time. He's definitely a passionate man, I suppose. I suppose that's the problem with like letting people like me into the stream, is it completely derails from the point of Xenogears.
No, I mean, like, these are just supposed to be so that there's a record of the game for people who can't play it themselves.
Oh, really?
It's not like, and the reason I stopped including you on Travel Notes streams is because those are actually me taking notes on things.
Yeah, I did understand that, because I felt like,
Blue Dragon got a bit derailed at times.
especially like during some cutscenes and stuff.
Yeah. It's alright, I've made it through Eternal Sonata. You can watch that on YouTube now.
I've already played it.
It's terrible.
I think I'll be okay. I've experienced Eternal Sonata before.
It's true. Did you play the Xbox
Yes,
version?
it did.
I envy you.
Like, it's not as long as it took you.
Well, you gotta remember that, like, I did a bunch of grinding.
Oh yeah, because the game was balanced differently. Whereas
Yeah.
I didn't feel like I needed to grind except for like one spot in the game. The only boss I lost against was in the pirate ship. Remember right? It was a pirate.
I got stuck on her for a while.
It's the only one I got stuck on. Well, I wasn't stuck because I wasn't grinding at all, or like spending any. I was literally just moving
Yeah.
forward throughout the most of it. And so at that point, I just went back and forth a bit and caught up. But yeah,
Yeah, I think that was I did some grinding there. I did some grinding. Where was the other big point I grinded? Oh, before the first encounter with the cow.
Oh yeah, because I had a massive like argument with a friend saying like, "Oh, this game just feels really simple and easy," and he's like, "No, it feels really hard." And it's because we both played it.
And he was playing the PS3 version.
And he was actually playing it as a multiplayer game with some friends because the game has co-op.
You
Yeah,
can
the
do
game has
that?
Co-op.
Huh.
Like, you can both play as different. I think it's the same way how the Tales games do it.
But like, you can't act. Two characters can't act simultaneously in Eternal Sonata.
Yeah, but it just means that you can control that character when it's your turn. But you can like.
That wouldn't actually help at all, though. I mean, it might be like.
It means you can put the controller down for like a few seconds.
Yeah, but like, I mean, the Tales games get ridiculously easy if you multiplayer.
Yeah.
even if you've only got 2 players, because you can stun lock enemies with infinite combos.
I just like.
But
There's like one point where I'd been around someone's house and they had Eternal Sonata, and like they were like, I think they'd played to like midway through the game, so they hadn't touched it for like ages. And I just watched 2 people
It's about right.
just, like turn on the game and had no fucking clue what they were doing. They're like on battle level 3 or something.
Oh god, that's about where it gets really bad.
Yeah. See, I felt when I had played it, that stuff kind of like, I felt kind of eased into it, so I kind of knew what I was doing really. But I suppose
I didn't. I think it's. I find it really obnoxious because it means that the first, like, the introductory chapters of the game actually counter prepare you for what's to come.
Yeah.
Because by the end of the game, literally, the moment your turn starts, your 4 seconds are rolling, and you're wasting time.
I just liked it how it started, where the timer only went down when you moved. I think that was good enough.
Yeah, that was a really good system, and like other games that use that system, like stop that. What am I thinking of?
Profile 2 does that.
Valkyria Chronicles, and Resonance of Fate as well. And it works really, really well for those.
Yeah, I find it's or even so far as like, it's just like the whole thing of like things only moving when you move kind of thing is just like a cool idea.
Yeah. It's a much more relaxing way to play.
Yeah, because it kind of becomes more about proper positioning and strategy rather than like heat of the moment kind of thinking. Or at least it lets you able to take in like, well, this is where I should go, and just use the time to move to that point. Because even though like Valkyrie Profile 2 has that stuff, it gets really complex with it because there's a lot of like elements to consider. Like, here's this point where you've got it's a mess of a battle system.
Well, so is Eternal Sonata.
Well, Valkyrie Profile 2 is a tri-ace game. It like takes.
Eternal Sonata is a tri-crescendo game, which is people who were so tri-ace that they left tri-ace to make a new game company to copy everything tri-ace does.
The game they made after Eternal Sonata wasn't even an RPG, I don't think.
I can believe that. Eternal Sonata is barely an RPG.
It was Fragile Dreams, I think it was, on the Wii.
Isn't that kind of an RPG though?
I think it's more. I think I remember it being more of like a survival kind of game.
Where do I go to actually compete? Is it here? No.
Oh, it is. Wikipedia lists it as a role-playing game, I guess. I suppose because it looks like quite just an unusual kind of approach.
Yeah, but like Wii games always do.
Yeah. It's the.
Hang on a second, I recognise this guy. What the hell? Why is Dan in the capital in the tournament? What? That's a surprise. Why are you in the tournament, tiny child? Also, what's with this guy's face?
That's.
This guy is a squid in a hood.
I think that might be a mask.
I'm still going to call him a squid until proven otherwise. Because... No, you didn't enter your real name, but Dan said it out loud seconds ago, I'm sure.
Oof.
Right, let's sneak into the castle.
I think the first like Tri Crescendo game was like a Monolith Soft collaboration
Oh my god.
with the people that made this game.
Yep,
Yeah, it was like Baton Kaitos, I think
it's all
I
connected.
can never pronounce it. Baton
Sorry?
Kaitos,
Ah,
which has like a card-based battle system,
yeah.
written by Masato Kata.
He wrote everything.
He does so much. I guess we doesn't do as much now.
No, it's probably for the best.
He did Legend of Legacy, which like is so sparse I couldn't really tell. No, I've started working on another RPG for review, Stellar Glow.
Uh-huh.
Kind of,
I've...
like it kind of plays a bit like Final Fantasy Tactics on easy mode.
That sounds promising.
Sort of, but it's a bit I think I'm not too far into it, but it's also incredibly story heavy. Like I loaded up for like half an hour last night and it was just all cutscene. Which I mean,
Sounds plausible.
I don't necessarily take issue with that, but
Yeah.
I don't feel that invested in how it was going.
Ah, fair enough.
But it's early game.
Brave young men are killing themselves on the battlefield, so now we will have them kill themselves for our entertainment instead.
Yep. It's morale boosting, right?
Man.
I'd read actually like somewhere recently, I think it's BBC, someone sent me a link of like how intense joy can like have the same effect on the heart as intense stress.
I can believe that.
Yeah.
Are you literally congratulating yourself on your own speech, Shakan? Because that's... really? That's ridiculous.
It does feel kind of like stagey a bit.
You think so?
A bit. I mean, it's kind of like I can imagine this being overacted.
Possibly. I mean, Leroy reckons it's an anime.
Oh, it's totally anime. Actually, now you mention it.
But also, there's an element to which it's a novel as well, just in sheer quantity of text.
Tetsuya Takahashi really liked these things and wanted to make something like that.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think I was reading like the scenario right of like this or Xenosaga of how they wrote it like that
Yeah,
because
just take a moment to note that I'm currently fighting Gonzalez, so I'm back in Paper Mario 2 again. And continue.
I think it was that for this and Xenosaga they actually were talking how they kind of write it how they were because like they shared a fascination with Nietzsche with their husband. I never feel like I pronounced that right. It's Nietzsche.
Nietzsche. Nietzsche. Yep. I have 5 battle points. What shall I do with 5 battle points?
Shit.
That was a lot of clubbing. Uh-oh. Apparently he only uses that if I use special attacks, so I shall try not using any special attacks.
Well, it's, yeah, the death blows usually end with X.
Fortunately, I have this inner healing thing.
I kind of like the death blow system a bit, actually, but it's a bit weird.
Yeah, it's...
How they just kind of like...
I think it works.
Yeah. It's, though I feel like I do, like I've got, like, in a notebook, like, I've written down all the ones, like, all the characters I find. Because it's just, like... I feel like I've missed something.
Yeah, I looked them up, frankly, but the basic rule is you use the most expensive combo you can,
Yeah.
and that's it.
And then you teach, once you know them, then the mech's able to do them. But not consistently is what I don't like.
Am I actually going to spend this entire level swimming? That's actually a decently detailed swimming animation. What have we here?
I don't have much RPGs that really have a lot of swimming.
FF10.
There's a lot of swimming. And has a whole system devoted to sports swimming.
Yep. What's your opinion on Blitzball?
I really like Final Fantasy X is like honestly one of my favourite games, but I really couldn't get into Blitzball.
Really?
I suppose because I only
I quite
played
like
the
Blitzball.
first game, which is kind of balanced against your favour.
A little bit, yeah. Particularly if you don't get the jet shot, which is easy to miss on the first playthrough.
Well, because it's like one cutscene, and if you fuck it up, you can't you might as well like just not have it.
Yeah, I mean you can like reload and try again, but
You can't skip back to
yeah.
You'll have to sit through the entire cutscene because FF10 does not have skippable cutscenes,
Yeah.
and not in the HD version either.
Really? They didn't make them skippable in that? That's shocking.
Imagine that. They might have looked into it and just thought it might have messed with the engine or something. You never know. But
But yeah. Yes. I mean, I like the cutscenes, but there's a lot of them. There's a reason that's the slowest FF speedrun, not counting like 100% runs.
I think that's the one that's like out of the ones I've actually finished is the one that's taken me the longest as well.
Quite possibly. I mean, like I've got a almost 100% file with 200 hours logged on it.
No, I didn't do 100%. I only did like just most of the side quests is a bit, but I just did most of the essential stuff. It was about 60-ish hours, I'd say.
This is not where I wanted to end up.
That's where you come from.
It's not where I started from.
Is it time for this?
Yeah. Why are you going up the ladder when I'm pushing down? You... Ugh. Yay, controls. Yep, that's me pushing down, and to actually descend the ladder I have to push right.
I suppose it didn't quite get camera relative controls at this point.
Yeah. Well, it's certainly true that a lot of PlayStation games have that
Well, it's
problem.
just a lot of them don't even use camera relative, they use player relative.
Yeah. I desperately need to heal up a bit though.
I suppose just because I didn't really play a lot of like 3D PS1 games. It's like because I can't handle tank controls. Like I have to have control relative to the camera.
I don't know, like, there are situations where I don't mind tank controls, but it's a bit irksome in this game. Particularly since it's only for ladders.
Yeah. I see you having the same sprite glitch as I am. I see you having
Sorry?
the same sprite glitch as I am.
Oh, where there are lines just dropping from them. Yeah.
I don't think that's like an issue with like seams or anything. It's just the guy that's drunk in the bar, isn't it?
No, not at all.
Sure.
No, he wears a lot more pink. Ah.
The thing I know about Xenogears definitely is the second disc has the reputation.
Yeah. I'm kind of looking forward to it, to be honest, because at the moment this is just very, very basic JRPG stuff.
Yeah, I think I think it's because it gets a bit cutscene heavy, is what it is.
Yeah.
Which is the problem with it itself. It's just it's a rather generic complaint to really have about RPGs or just games in general. It's just, oh, it's
Yeah.
really a lot of that stuff, I guess.
Yeah. I think this walkthrough expects me to be rather higher level than I currently am, because it's saying use a move that I can't.
I think that's kind of like that's just walkthroughs.
It might not have been a problem if I'd been following the walkthrough from the beginning, but I only started using it today.
It's because they kind of like the way a walkthroughs usually like they expect you to have like followed it through the letter. So like use this thing you definitely found earlier. You found that, right? Is what I find.
Yeah, but I mean they have to be because there are so many options otherwise.
I find actually usually official strategy guides like written alright for that stuff.
But yeah, but they have much more in resources to work with. And I can't afford the official strategy guide for this because it doesn't exist.
Probably does, but it's like
in Japanese. I cannot believe it got an English language one.
maybe, I don't know. It depends on the time, I guess. Well, it's like it's the point where like Final Fantasy was a big deal comparably. And this was like, oh, it's another.
I suppose actually it is after FF7.
Yeah, it's like a big post FF7 Square RPG. Or as like people like to mention, it's the game that was initially pitched as Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
Which, if that went through, that could have been interesting.
Yep.
And would probably like maybe not have the same reputation it would, because they would have gone, well, this is Final Fantasy, we have to put the effort in.
Maybe, I mean, like, it's hard to imagine this having quite the impact that FF7
Oh, I
did.
know. but it's more on the fact that like because FF7 they kind of like it. I suppose they did compromise a bit on that game because there's like cut content about like there are some characters that don't have incomplete side quests as well. But yeah.
Oh, I'm being pushed back.
Final Fantasy VII kind of like. I suppose it's because they made the big deal with like the fancy like graphics technology.
I'm not getting anywhere with this. Oh no, I am.
It's really weird how you just change the camera and it seems to be working.
I think it was actually the current had just started to change.
Really bizarre.
But I did switch to an angle where progress would be much more visible.
Switch it so that you're going right.
Yeah, well, any sideways relative to the camera really would do.
But it's people seem to have an instinct to use going right.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's as much to do with English reading right to left as anything else, I think.
Right to left, yeah. Left to right.
Left to right. Sorry.
You made me confused there a bit.
Yep, sorry. I know what I'm talking about, I'm a writer.
I guess I am as well, but...
Can I open the floodgate? I apparently can't open the floodgate.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's opening of its own accord. Of course it is.
Maybe that's what the
Of course, once it opens, I won't be able to swim forwards.
Ooh.
Ah, there we go.
So the bit I'm at is just after the caves when they get onto Bart's sand ship or whatever it is.
That's really confusing. I got very lost in there.
I feel like I am a bit.
I mean, that's literally the reason that I started using a guide, is because I needed a map.
I feel like there's like certain points where like you feel certain like modern conveniences in games like can get a bit too far, but then like you realise like why they're there sometimes.
Hello, Jackson.
Hi, Jackson.
It's me.
Hi.
Do the applications online.
Uh-huh.
How's everyone else doing?
I'm alright, I'm full of hay fever because apparently it's March now and therefore spring.
Oh shit, I've got to worry about that now as well.
That sucks.
Yep, I'm not sure I should have pushed that switch, but what the hell. How are you, Jackson?
I'm stressed. I'm playing Final Fantasy IV. I'm worried I'm in trouble. Because I should have been playing Final Fantasy IV, but was instead watching Sword Art Online, and thus I don't think Matt's very happy with me for how I spent my time. I mean, I'm not happy with me for how I spent my time. So join the club, I guess.
You've seen the warning signs like halfway through that show.
I hated it from episode 5. From episode 5, I knew it was irredeemable trash.
So why did you keep going?
The actual reason is because I'm very stressed right now, and when I am stressed and overwhelmed, I have a great comfort in doing something that I consider disposable. Like, that's why I played MGS5 for so long, despite not liking it.
Oh man. I'm looking forward to your next Metal Gear cast, by the way.
Friday, I think that's me and Cameron. Cameron comes on.
Yep.
Yelling about the boss.
The boss.
Uh-huh. The boss.
I should probably check those
Uh-huh.
podcasts out actually at some point.
They're good.
They're really good. The first two are really good. I enjoyed them a lot. And I listened to the Ninja Gaiden episode today on my way to work. That was also fun, but I still cannot believe you used the phrase "cag hag" out loud in a thing you were going to
Which
publish.
one of us said cag hag? Did we both say cag hag?
You did!
What's a cag hag?
No, because the thing is, that is at least a 2-year-old in-joke between the two of us.
Oh my god.
I'm fairly sure Matt came up with Cag Hag, but I guess they had the foresight to not say Cag Hag out loud
On a podcast.
What is a Cag Hag?
You're taking the fall for this one, buddy.
Yeah.
And you have to explain to Sam what a Cag Hag
Cag
is
Hag
now.
is someone who appreciates the character action games.
This is such a bad joke.
Wow. Wow.
If you get enjoyment from the character action games, you are a Cag Hag. Look.
I'm a Cag Hag. Oh my god.
I'm so glad I'm not a Cag Hag.
I'm a Cag Hag baby, so why don't you kill me?
That would be a little extreme.
Fucking hell.
No, that's that Beck song, that famous Beck song, Cag Hag.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, walk into the chat, ruin everything in 5 minutes. My brand.
It's probably not the worst thing that's happened in a Dead Genre Chronicles stream. Probably.
Back to the old Final Fantasy. Gotta kill
One of my terrible anecdotes or something.
It might well have been that.
Do I buy the Assassin's Creed Heritage Collection? No, I don't. Why would I do that? Jackson, what are you doing?
What?
There's nothing in the sale that's worth it. Goodbye sale, goodbye.
What sale was this?
PSN one that's on at the moment.
Is there anything for Vita?
Yes, surprisingly. There is Lumines. If you don't have Lumines for Vita, you should get Lumines.
Is it Luminous or is it Lumines?
I've always called it Lumines. It is
I think-
Lumines.
I think everyone calls it Luminous. Well, not everyone, but you know what I mean. It's just commonly referred to as Luminous. Should be the proper way I said that.
But to me, it will always be Lumines.
I knew a guy who was just obsessed with that game on the PSP to an extent where he had 2 PSPs both playing Luminous at the same time.
That's
I don't get how you do that.
pretty advanced.
Yeah.
This is like the people who will solo play 2-player, not R-Type, what am I thinking of?
Ikaruga.
Ikaruga.
That's the one.
That's actually supported in the PC version.
Did your friend call it Tuminous?
Jesus
What?
fucking Christ!
What?
Just saying. I'm just saying.
Hmm.
How do you get it to say now playing on the thing?
It auto-detects if it's going to, but it's only if you're playing something on the same computer that you're hosting
So I can't.
Discord
I
on.
didn't know how it detected. So I assumed people
You
would
could
run it.
open an executable and just say, I'm playing this.
I'm playing Half-Life 3.
No, you are.
Even if it was out, I wouldn't.
No, that's Sam policy,
don't
to be
care.
honest.
Back to leveling up my party.
They said you could set Notepad as a game that you're playing, but that doesn't work.
I'm only using the web app. I'm not using the app yet. But I'll download it.
Yeah, I've been using the proper app. No, I've been using it on the phone a bit as well. Phone version's alright.
Oh, that's pretty good. The best, I think we can all agree that the best part of the app is where it loads up and says some really cool gaming catchphrase for cool people.
Unbenching the Kench.
It's for gamers.
When I load up,
It's for gamers from like 2007, because Leroy Jenkins.
I'm like, oh.
It's like, it's if you want to make something like gamer branded, it's like it's exactly what you'd expect. Like out of like a
Pretty much
sort of setting. But I think like
right. Oh god.
I think the game like this was like chiefly made in mind with was like Final Fantasy 14 initially. Or at least that's the one they did a lot of testing with.
Makes sense. All the nerds play that.
Many nerds play that.
Known to partake in the Final Fantasies.
I think just any sort of like massively multiplayer role-playing game is tend to has a bit of a nerd following.
Yeah.
It's basic. It's just a little.
Just a little.
I'm assuming this is basically just TeamSpeak.
It's kind of like that, yeah.
It's it's more streamlined for text chat
Well,
than
like, what if we
TeamSpeak.
put vents and IRCs in one thing?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I like how this because it's quite easy to like just create a channel as well.
And then someone said
Yeah.
that's called Slack, and they said, "Don't worry, we'll say it's for gamers."
And you don't even have to host a server for a channel on this as well. That's which I quite like.
I'm surprised
Yeah.
at how well this voice thing is working. I just click the button and then
I
it
think
works.
They recently just got like a load of venture capital, like angel investment.
Oh, so we're in that beautiful
Yeah.
like 6-month phase before that ruins everything, where things are just good for a while.
Maybe.
Yeah. And like the voice chat is good, but it's rubbish for recording with because if you use it to record it, there's a delay for some reason.
Oh no, you
Yeah,
want to
I
have
remember-
record on Skype.
I remember Devon. Well, like
Yeah, but you don't want to use Skype for anything ever because
That's
Skype is
terrible
awful.
software.
I only use Skype to talk to my family at this point.
I use Skype to talk to Matt and Destiny all the time. When it's getting worse.
I don't.
It's been getting worse for
I mean, they're
donkeys though.
improving the Skype experience as we speak.
I mean, okay, Microsoft Ambassador Jackson.
I'm just telling you what I've heard.
I saw it on an advert once.
I trust adverts, me.
I read this like this like newspaper article. It said by Microsoft, right? It said
You can
Skype
trust
is...
them.
They make Windows and all that.
Oh my fucking god! This character has an attack called Heaven Sent, spent with a C, which is throw money at
Get it.
people.
I don't know why they didn't use that for the merchant class in Bravely Default.
Gross.
You probably just haven't got to it in Bravely Second yet.
God, it'd probably be like it would probably be like shut up and take my money or some shit.
Shit. Oh no. Oh god, now I don't have any. Oh, give her an ether. Someone give her an ether, quick.
That's some retro Final Fantasy there.
Yep.
I've only played like 4 once, and I had cheat codes on, and I still got like lost somehow.
I'm playing on the Vita, so no cheat codes for me.
That's probably the version I'll be playing when I eventually. Like, I had all the Final Fantasies like installed on my Vita, but I got rid of them, like most of them, to save space. But the ones I seem to have kept are like 4 and 9.
Mhm.
Well, 9's a good bet. I can't speak for 4. I can't really speak for
I think
9.
it's because 9 I actually like have a save on there that's most of the way through. Even though if I uninstall the game, it will keep the save.
Do you have a PS3?
No, I do not.
Yeah, then you
I
need one.
only have a Vita. Like, I don't know why I bought a Vita, of all things. I could have bought myself a PS3 and got a lot more games for that.
Or like, I don't know, 200 Kit Kats.
They'll be gone though at some point.
So will the Vita.
I really want to get a PS TV before
Me
they go
too.
out, because there's like 3 things that are only ever going to be on the Vita.
I
But-
guess most good games on the Vita will probably be playable on the PS TV.
Yeah, it's the Persona 4 TV machine. That's what the PS4 is.
And I forget whether it's Tales of Hearts or Innocence, but
Tales of
one day that will be playable.
Does it not work on PS TV?
Yeah. No, I think it does, but like, yeah, I was saying that. How do I skip a go?
You just defend?
Is it possible to skip? I guess. I'm gonna be here for a while though. I have to lose this to get the wedding dress, which is a piece of armor that Faye can equip. Because go figure.
Wedding dress.
Well, like, Dan's sister was killed on her wedding day.
I feel that, like,
Kind of by Faye.
What's this?
Xenogears.
Oh, you're playing Xenogears, right.
Yeah, you're on a stream.
Yes.
Right, as we speak.
Yes. You've
I'm
been
Yep.
live the internet
I've
right
been live
now.
all this time.
Yep.
Sorry, I thought you knew.
I've been admitting on recording to
To being a cag hag.
Disclose the origins of Caghag on record.
I disclosed the origins of Kagag. I admitted to having watched Sword Art Online.
You're archiving this on YouTube, aren't you, Becky?
Oh no.
Yep.
Oh no. I'm deeply uncomfortable with what is transpiring.
We have to put some beeps in at some point.
Oh god, don't make me edit it. The whole point of these streams is I don't have to edit them as much as the Eternal Sonata ones.
Now I'm thinking like, did I say anything really bad in the 4 seconds? Apart from
No.
Kagag, obviously.
No.
Apart from cag hag, you didn't, and I would have stopped you, don't worry.
If I was like a prospective employer and found this, like, oh, Jackson does the stream. Oh, he seems a bit of a goof. He seems like a cool guy, though.
Because you know what the prospective
I mean-
employers love. They love those Xenogears screens.
They love those Caghags.
They love the Kagag.
It's not going to be traceable to you in any way. You will just be a voice in the ether. What's happened? What's happened is I've got blown up.
I remember in the caves where, like, you've just got soldiers fighting, like, tiny soldiers fighting against you in giant mechs.
Oh, that's kind of horrible, actually. It's like,
If I understand rightly as well, the giant enemies can't hit you on foot.
but you can hit tiny enemies from your mech. I can't go into the tournament arena. So this must be the wrong part of the castle, but it was the only part of the castle I could go into.
Because the small enemies when you're in a mech do so little damage, it's a good opportunity to recharge your fuel.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if it's ever going to be too much of a factor, but just the idea of that stresses me out.
It's pretty grim. And like, when I was badly under-geared in my gear, I ran out of fuel in a couple of fights. But that was just because I hadn't figured out how to use the gear shop, because it's really complicated.
And also, I think it's just like, just coming off of like Xenoblade Chronicles X, where fuel can run out.
Where you needed to pay out on insurance quite a lot, if I
Only
remember
like
rightly.
3 or 4 times.
It was far more than 3 or 4
Because
times.
it's once you've paid for. No, it was about 3 or 4 times because I bought a new mech and ended up hitting the button, the quick time event after that. Because if your mech is insured, there is a quick time event. Because your insurance, when you buy a mech, it has an insurance value, usually of about 3. And there's a quick time event when the mech gets destroyed, and if you miss that quick time event, the insurance value depletes by 1. But if you hit that quick time event, it's covered by your insurance, and your insurance value doesn't deplete. But if that value is at 0 and the mech is destroyed, you have to then pay for it with your insurance. And it was actually at a certain point much more beneficial for me to just sell the mech and just buy a new one.
Really?
Well,
that game has some messed up economics.
Like, up until the point before mechs are involved, like I was like, oh, this game has so much money, I can buy everything. It's just so easy. And then just get the mechs and go, oh. Do you remember when you had money, right? That was nice, wasn't it? And it just like drains all the fucking.
I mean,
I had
mechs are
fucking
expensive.
Yeah, and it's like you get to like then there's like the level 50 mechs, which Jesus Christ, I don't know how anyone in like the point I was like the end game where you've kind of got to be level 50, like how anyone can afford a level 50 mech by that point in the game without having to do seriously bucket loads of grinding. Because I had to do that and I could only afford barely just one. There were like just some structural things about the game I just find a bit weird and annoying. How it kind of presents some things as like, here's a side thing, but then a later thing this will say, by the way, you should have done this thing, otherwise you can't do this main quest.
Yeah, well, this is what you get when you pattern single-player games after MMOs.
Yeah, I just think like it would have been a bit cleaner if it just sort of like, I suppose the whole quest like interface and like thing like that kind of makes it seem a bit less cleaner. Like if it didn't have that as much, then it might seem a bit more natural. But because it's patterned after an MMO, it just feels weird.
Yeah. It's a shame, I really wanted that game to be just, like, a big open space with some stuff in it. And it sounds like there's too much stuff in it and too many quests. That was kind of the impression I got from screenshots of the map.
It's like you go to this tower and well, not a tower, but it's like a thing that you go to, and then you find it and then activate it, and then it opens up more of the map, and you go and find more of those, and yeah, it's Ubisoft. Though, like, I still like the actual general like design of the areas a bit more, because it kind of still feels like it's not like. It does kind of feel like you kind of need to look where you're going rather than just, oh, here's a point in the map, I'm just going to head straight in that direction.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Bit like Guild Wars 2 then.
I never played Guild Wars 2.
Guild Wars 2, all the things that are on the map, you have to like jump over a bunch of stuff to find. Which gets tedious after a while, but...
And then in Xenoblade X you get a flying mech about 50 hours in.
Yeah.
But flying is cool.
Does it actually feel like flying, or does it feel like hovering?
Well, I suppose it is hovering in a way, but you do move quite fast while you're flying as well. But like, it kind of feels like it like actual like fights kind of made me feel like ones in like other mech animes and stuff. Even though it wasn't like as kinetic as those can be, it just kind of felt that way. Because I was just sort of like flying, like it was just the verticality of it, I guess. It was kind of cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. I complain, but I did enjoy my time with that game in general. Like, it's a bit rough, but I think it's a good game.
That's cool. Maybe someday I'll have time for it. I still want to play the first one.
I really like the first one.
But
more, I kind of like the first one more.
To
be honest. But...
I'm completely walled on it though, and I don't want to have to get back into it. But I also don't want to have to replay the first, whatever, 7 or 8 hours.
That's only like 10% of the game.
I know! That's why I don't want to have to repeat it!
The Chronicles, or X, took me a bit longer than the original. Well, 2 hours longer,
Hmm.
to be precise.
All these really opulent bedrooms I keep finding my way into, and there's never anyone
All
in
these
them.
really opulent bedrooms is my favourite Smith song.
Oh, for God's sake.
Well
Can I
played.
tell the story of me seeing Morrissey?
Oh?
Like,
Probably have.
at a gig or...
I went to a Morrissey gig, and he played This Charming Man, and then collapsed on stage and was taken to hospital.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Drastic.
that was. I don't know. It was. I don't know if I liked Morrissey that much, actually.
Controversial
You haven't
opinions
decided.
there.
But I feel like most of this, like the set was like, from the sounds of it, was probably going to be old Smith songs, but without Johnny Marr's guitar work.
You see, like... You know, I'm Mancunian by birth, so Morrissey's from my neck of the woods. And... Like... I do enjoy some of his solo stuff. Like the album that came out in about 2004, there's some tunes on that I have some nostalgia for. But also, that was that the album? I think the album was Irish Blood, English Heart.
I don't know. You are the Corey I'm just bloody sick of because my mother played it so many times.
That's probably all the indictment it needs, really. It's Britpop for parents.
Well, no, because like I think the thing about my mother was just like really into the Smiths at like when they were big and around. I think she's seen them like twice. But, yeah. No, it was a decent support act when I saw Morrissey. Some band called like Doll on the Kicks, I think they were called. I think they split up not long after.
I thought you were building up to a joke where it'd be like Muse or something.
I've seen Muse actually.
I saw Muse when they were touring their first album.
Really?
That's like my one bit of hip music cred, is that I saw Muse before they were absurdly
Considering,
large.
Like the way people talk about Muse on Twitter, I'm not sure that's really cred as much these days.
Not anymore. No, I mean, contemporary Muse are ridiculous.
I really can't stand it.
Uh,
I don't know. I was listening to like the most recent album, and I was just like, I just don't like it.
It is really bad.
Like, it's really bizarre because I was a huge Muse fan for like a long while, and like loved like up to like the Resistance, and then they put out the second Law, and I was just like, I don't know if I like this band anymore.
now the Resistance is where they jumped the shark for me. Like the first 4 albums are interesting and cool. Particularly not Black Holes, the one before that I can't even remember the name of anymore. But
The one with Hysteria on it. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
I'm actually looking at them right now because I can see them in my room. I actually have a shelf with CDs on it. I'm one of those people still.
Nerd.
I still have a shelf with CDs.
Not a lot of people I know do.
I like that it's Jackson is calling us
I
nerds.
think, well, on that shelf, what is there? There's Muse, Radiohead, Porcupine Tree, Yes, and Rush.
Nerd.
The most.
What do you want me to say?
Of course, it's like here is my progressive rock. I don't know.
Where the hell am I supposed to go?
There's like 8
This
Rush
one's
albums
locked
there,
still.
so I can't defend myself here.
Good grief. That's a lot of Rush.
Is it 8? Yeah, it's 8.
I own a Rush album.
Which one?
Far Cry? No, Far Cry was the single. Snakes and Arrows.
That's a decent one. It's alright.
Yeah, Far Cry's a great tune. I'm not so sold on the rest of the album. But,
I liked a couple of the opening tracks, and there's some good instrumentals on there, but most of it's not as. It's like they're not as strong as they used to be. Well, not as good as they used to be. No, I actually really like the album they put out after that one.
The thing about them is that they should have paced themselves when instead they rushed.
Fuck off.
Well done, Jackson. This joke made doubly funny by the fact that Neil Peart is one of the steadiest drummers in the business.
Well, he's retired.
Yes, sadly, but
well, it's the thing. I like Neil Peart as a drummer, but I don't like watching drum solos of his.
As someone who is a pretty good drummer, my rule is no one wants to listen to a drum solo, never. No one ever wants to listen to a drum solo, don't do it.
I like to listen to good...
I
like to listen to good drumming.
Sorry, Sam, go ahead.
I don't like listening to a drum solo, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because it's boring all the time, it's never good.
I know it's the most generic musical opinion to have, but like...
I have heard at least 2, possibly 3 good drum solos in my life that were actually musically interesting to listen to.
And how many songs have you listened to? That's the thing, comparatively.
Oh yeah, I mean it's a rare thing, but it can be done.
I'm not saying it's impossible. It's just like not many people probably want to hear it anyway. It's like I'm not gonna start saying, "Oh, bassists should not play after the 12th fret" or something silly like that. But like,
I mean, to be fair, they probably should.
But like,
don't tell that to the bassist in my old band. Jesus.
What about Peter Hook?
I'm not talking to Peter Hook. I'm talking to fucking Sam, my bandmate.
Peter Hook played how he did because like he had really shitty quality amps and could only hear himself if he did.
Mhm.
But it's kind of like it suits the style of music he played.
I don't even like. I don't like solos much at all. I like. There are some guitar solos. A guitar solo is more acceptable than a drum solo. Obviously.
Well, it's the thing about a guitar solo is it kind of has to have the rest of the band to back it up to be really
That's true.
done. It's like
Yeah.
a bit.
You see, before I was anything else, I was a pianist, so I'm very used to solo being the natural way to be.
You can play a whole piece on the piano. That's not the same thing.
True.
They're a good like.
It's 2 instruments taped together.
It's
3 if you've got a synth as well.
Oh, fuck,
Sorry.
another boss fight.
There is like I think like the one like solo bit I really like is like in a Rush song like I think it's Free Will where it's just like the entire band just like in like I think it's like a constant riff but he keeps on the bass but he keeps messing with it and then there's a guitar solo and it's kind of a drum solo in the background. I think it's a really good bit.
Some jazz solos are a bit like that. And it works okay.
I don't think I've found any free jazz I ever like. I've tried listening to free jazz, and I don't know if I get it. It's.
That's fair. I don't.
Yeah, you can use all the notes. That's nice.
This level would be going a lot better if I had any clue where I was going.
No, I think I've just mostly been listening to like Alan Holdsworth kind of stuff.
Oh, good grief.
You ever listen to Alan Holdsworth?
Nope. Doesn't mean anything to me, I'm afraid.
There's like a point, because he's a guitarist, but then he kind of discovered the synth axe, and it's the most weird sounding stuff I've really listened to. Because he just goes, well, I'm gonna make all these weird, like, guitarish, like, synthesizers, but it's not gonna sound like a guitar at all. But it kind of, it's really weird, and I don't know if I like it.
I'm quite a fan of guitars that don't sound like guitars.
I mean, I like
Um,
when, like, because Pat Metheny uses like a synth patch on his guitar. And
I like most of the guitarists I know have like pedal boards as big as they are, and some of them make interesting sounds.
I suppose because like I play guitar, but I'm kind of been a bit boring with the sound. It's like here is like just a Marshall-y kind of sound that I've been messing with. I've been using like amp modeling and stuff because I can't afford an amp.
That's fair. I mean, like I'm an acoustic guitarist, so my guitar sounds like an acoustic.
Yeah, it would 'cause it's an acoustic.
Yes, it would.
You know, for fuck's sake!
I regret nothing.
No, I like my electric guitar.
I have my acoustic guitar over there. I'm terrible at it, but
I'm not a great guitarist. I'm not like a great guitarist myself, but I just like.
I mean, we're all drummers, so like,
But I haven't played, like,
we're not allowed to be good at guitar. I haven't played drums in 5.
I think it might be the same.
Still a drummer.
Actually.
I was a drummer in a band for a while, and then became the guitarist vocalist, and switched with the actual guitarist vocalist, who was a lot better at both of them than me, but was like, we were a punk band, and he was into the metal, so just it sounded wrong every time, and then I did pretty well live, like just being weird, whiny teen guy who can mostly play power chords. That's all you need when you're doing Blink-182 covers.
I bought a bass guitar. Because,
Pretty much.
Like, my friends were like forming a band, but they already had a drummer
Mm-hmm.
and a guitar and 2 guitarists. So I bought a bass off of eBay for 40 quid, and it's the worst piece of shit I've ever played.
That's usually how it
still
works.
have it. It's like I have like things. You know those things we put on a wall and it holds the guitar by the neck, like the top of the headstock.
Yep.
I've got that, and the bass is on display there, and I never play it because it's fucking terrible.
Yep. I found the princess! Hooray!
That might be the first thing I do is just replace that bass guitar and just get rid of it.
Oh my god, is the princess bringing her cuddly toy? I guess she is. Anyway, I am going to stop there because that's 2 hours of Xenogears, and also I'm starving.
Get that food.
I will get that
Yes,
food.
food is nice.
There will be more Xenogears later because literally the entire rest of my month's gaming is going to have to be consumed by this game because it's 70 hours long!
Some people say 50.
Let's hope.
I mean, you were the people
Anyway,
who
that-
decided to do a JRPG podcast every month.